What did you see while you were in Washington, D.C.?
So after that, I visited a famous museum called the Smithsonian plus Space. And I found it very interesting, but what happened was a strange thing happened to me. I started feeling dizzy. So I left the museum and I decided to go back home. So I just kept getting worse and worse, and I decided to go see a doctor. And the doctor said, "You seem fine. If it gets worse, then visit us again." So we thought, okay, fine. So I went back home. And I couldn't sleep that night. I kept tossing and turning because I kept feeling itchy all over my body. The next day, I went back to see that doctor again. The doctor looked me up and said that I have scarlet fever. So I must eat a lot of sweet chocolate foods.
So, did that make you feel better?
It was fine. I got a lot of sweet foods to eat, but I just kept getting worse. It didn't work. So the next day, that night actually, that evening, during that day, it just kept getting worse and worse. My mom and my aunt, the three of us decided to go to the hospital. So when we left the house, like I was walking down the stairs, I just felt so dizzy. I couldn't look to find the car. I made the wrong decision. And what happened was a car was coming down the road really fast, and it got so close to my face, like 1 inch away from my face. Whew! And my mom screamed, but of course I couldn't hear her because I'm deaf. So we went back to the hospital, and when we arrived to the hospital, when the door opened, I threw right on it. And so I went into the hospital, and the doctor looked me up and down and said, "Yeah, you were really sick, really bad. So you need to," they said to go back home, but we decided to go to a hotel for 2 days instead. So all day we stayed in the hotel. I watched TV with my brother there. My mom and dad slept all day too.
That's too bad that you were sick on your vacation.
Well, the irony is that my mom, she went to the White House and she tried to get an interpreter for the tour there, but they told her no. So she kept calling again and again and again, requesting for an interpreter, and finally they said, okay, fine. But that day, I got sick again, so I couldn't go.
Did you get to do anything fun while you were there?
Well, when I got to Washington, D.C., I met my mom's friends, Ruth, and her 2 kids. One of her children is the same age as mine, and one is younger, like my brother. We grew up together. And my mom's friend and her kid is the same age as me, so I haven't seen them for a long time, so we got to play around, hang out, and it was a lot of fun.
Did you see any other museums or do much sightseeing while you were there?
When I visited different museums, I visited one museum called, well, it's about the Holocaust. It's really sad in that museum. It talked about one girl and how she survived through the camps, how she survived through the Holocaust. After that, we visited Washington, D.C. Monument. It was really windy that day, so we couldn't get in because it was due to the wind. So I couldn't. I wanted to, but we couldn't. Then another museum that I visited was the Abraham Lincoln Monument. It was a statue, and this is the name sign, A-L, pointed down. It's very interesting because I've never seen it before.
After your bad experience being sick, do you think you'd like to go back to Washington, D.C.?
Well, luckily, past July, I got the opportunity to go back to Washington, D.C. for my other Gallaudet snow winter camp. So I finally got there to see the Washington, D.C., what it was really like when I wasn't sick.
Did you see anything different the second time you were there?
I finally could see more at the Gallaudet campus. And I could see what the kids were like there, the deaf kids there, down there in the east.